Hey guys, welcome to today's lesson. We're going to go over some climbing wall activities. This is our rope. We're going to start outdoors with a fixed rope at a high point just to simulate what's going to take place at a real climbing wall. When they teach how to properly belay for top rope and doing it in the most efficient and safe way possible, they actually use a fixed rope just like this to get people comfortable with just tying in, operating the gree-gree, the belay device, and operating a safety knot. And this is just to make sure that people are using the right procedures before they even step into the climbing wall. And just kind of for liability reasons, they wouldn't let us utilize the climbing gym, so we're just going to be out here today. And we're going to utilize Danny, who does have some climbing experience, to kind of help me oversee and double check, and then we're going to take turns. So we're going to start with our figure 8 knots. And these are our climbing harnesses. These are our safety points of contact. So we have our 2 tie-in points at the top and bottom that we're going to tie into as climbers. And we're going to start by going through the bottom loop and then the top. We're going to pull it pretty close, and then you're just going to follow that figure 8 around. Go ahead and take it. Follow the figure 8 around until you have 5 clean pairs of double strands of rope, and we want to look for 2 fistfuls of leash line at the end.
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Perfect.
3, 4, 5.
2 fistfuls. That looks great.
Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay. The other side, just to show. Great. And if you guys can untie and just do that one more time for me on your own.
Okay.
Awesome. So it's also really important when we're climbing, since we are going to be climbing with a partner in this scenario, you want to be able to check each other's tie-in points. So if you guys could both evaluate each other, look for your 2 points of contact, your 5 doubles, and 2 strands of, or 2 fistfuls of rope.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
And we also want to inspect our harnesses. Just make sure there's no weak points or any piece of material that's hanging loose or coming apart that could compromise the safety of our climbing. Look good? All right. I'm going to let you stay tied in, and we are going to go over really quick a safety knot that's going to be at the end of our belay device to make sure as our climber is moving up the wall and we're operating our belay device that if it goes too far, it doesn't pull the rope out. So you're just going to take the end of the rope, go ahead and wrap it 2 times around, 3 times around your hand, and then feed it through, pull it tight. And you've just got a nice little stopper knot. If you guys want to go ahead and practice that really quick. Perfect. You can untie it and let her do it. And this knot, if you don't remember this stopper knot, you can just do an overhand knot just like you're tying your shoes and just pull it tight as long as there's a good bite of rope at the end so that if we're running out, you want to feed it through the bottom. If we're running out of rope, we don't pull it through the belay device. Perfect. Okay, so you can leave that knot there. This is our gree-gree belay device. It's a semi-auto locking, so it is going to lock up as the climber falls and applies upward tension on the rope, but it's not self-operating, so it does require the belayer to know what they're doing. There's also a diagram on the gree-gree. You're going to feed the rope through. It's showing the climber side. This is our climber side of the rope that goes up the wall. We feed that in first on the left and underneath, and this is our locking carabiner that we're going to go ahead and open up, and then we're going to clip this part to our belay loop and lock it in. And what we're looking for here is to check that the locking carabiner is locked in place, and say the climber was to take a fall, we're going to go ahead and simulate that with a nice tug in the upward direction, and you can see that that device is going to lock up. It's also really important while we're belaying that you want to keep this bit of rope down at your hip, and in the next lesson we'll go over how to actually operate the belay station while we're doing that. But just for now, just know that position. And if we could untie everything, and you can practice loading up the gree-gree, and you can practice tying in, and then you guys can check each other out. And I'm going to have Danny oversee this and make sure that they're doing everything properly and that they don't miss any steps. And also, we're going to evaluate how they're checking each other out.
Up there. Locked in. One, two, three, four, five. 2 fistfuls. Good.
Okay, that's good. Yep. All the proper checks.
I would say just don't forget to give each other a little, just a quick inspection just every time you climb. I've run into a situation where you've got to the climbing wall, tied in, ready to go, and then get up on the wall and then look down and somehow realize that your harness is compromised, and it's just not a good feeling to be up in that situation. So if you could just get in the habit of also checking your harness, looking for those 2 points of contact tied in as a climber, and just being through the belay loop as the belayer. But you guys did awesome. So you can go ahead and just switch really quick.
You also don't want to have the carabiner in a position like that because it can move around or get snagged up. I like it best on that side, on the narrow end, so that it doesn't move around too much.
And also strength-wise, the carabiner is going to have the most braking strength in this position, straight up and down. And there's actually a diagram on the back of this that'll show the braking strength of 23 kilonewtons along the spine from top to bottom. But if you have it, it's called cross-loaded in this direction, the braking strength is only 7 kilonewtons. You're still well above what we're going to weigh or the impact force that we're going to generate on a fall. But it's just going to be a lot safer if you keep it in that position with the spine oriented straight away from your harness.
Okay. Hold that for a tug. Good.
Okay, so you guys are ready to climb.
Let's go.
Just for safety purposes, I mean, I'm not going to be present. Danny may not be present every time you're going to climb. And the idea is for you guys to go out and be able to trust one another, perform these safety checks. In order to have the maximum amount of enjoyment for a climbing activity, you don't want to have to be worrying about, is my gear going to fail? Did I perform that safety check? Wait a minute, do I have a stop or not? So it's a really good practice just to double check all these things before you even get on the wall. Just be thinking about the procedures, and the more comfortable you get climbing and getting up there, the easier it is to just forget that all this gear exists and just really enjoy the movement.